You stare at your business bank account balance after a record breaking quarter. A comfortable six-figure sum sits right there on the screen, completely liquid. A brief hit of dopamine, immediately followed by a quiet wave of safety. Your brain is wired to believe that cash sitting idle in a vault represents absolute financial security. But under the cold lens of behavioral economics, that digital comfort is an illusion. You aren't mastering your capital. You are simply acting as an unpaid security guard for a banking system that actively uses your stagnation to build its own wealth. Idle cash is financial deadweight. It is a melting ice cube being quietly eroded by inflation and opportunity costs every single hour. In the competitive landscape of the US market, this psychological trap separates the struggling business owner from the true financial architect. Let's look at how this trap works in your everyday operations. Imagine your business generates substantial revenue, but you are writing massive checks every month for commercial real estate leases, cloud computing infrastructure, or logistics. To the average entrepreneur, this is just the cost of doing business, a necessary one-way expense. But money spent this way never returns. You take 100% of the market risk just to subsidize someone else's asset class. Financial elites look at this behavior with pity because they do not play the game in one direction. They use a highly sophisticated counter strategy, structured capital dilution, and cash flow conversion. When a major enterprise needs to scale its supply chain, it doesn't just sign a standard vendor agreement. They leverage their transactional volume. They back their consistent cash flow with a commercial credit facility to acquire equity in the very logistics company they are hiring, or they negotiate long-term revenue sharing agreements. Richard Thaler's theory of mental accounting shows that ordinary people separate money into rigid, isolated buckets, treating expenses and investments as completely different entities. The financial elite completely dissolve these boundaries. By tying the vendor's financial survival to their own, their operational expenses are instantly converted into equity ownership. The money they spend flows through a strategic loop and snaps right back into their balance sheet, carrying a dividend with it. However, applying this level of financial engineering without absolute operational mastery is a quick path to bankruptcy. The philosophy of financial stoicism warns against the reckless abuse of leverage. If you attempt to dilute your capital and aggressively diversify into secondary markets while your core business model is bleeding cash, you will destroy your enterprise. Leverage is a brutal amplifier. Mismanaging this strategy leads to toxic diversification, scattered focus, and unmanageable debt structures. The masters of cash flow never gamble. They calculate severe margins of safety and secure structural escape hatches before a single dollar ever leaves their account. To break free from the traditional expense trap and master the architecture of capital allocation, you must study the exact frameworks used by modern corporate empires. The definitive blueprint for this is the economic classic, Cash Flow is King. This text serves as a precise engineering manual, dismantling the mechanics of capital velocity and demonstrating how to turn every organizational liability into a wealth-generating asset. The key to financial dominance is not locking your money in a vault. It is designing a self-sustaining ecosystem that forces capital to circulate back to you. The blueprint to rewrite your financial rules is linked directly in the resources below. Whether you choose to master the hidden mechanics of your cash flow or continue serving as a passive line item on someone else's balance sheet is entirely up to you.